curved upward. He showed no panic whatsoever, instead eagerly anticipating the show to come. Yemen Airspace Oil Extraction Base. Abujal Alpha watched in utter despair as the aircraft roared overhead, relentlessly dropping bombs to bombard the extraction facilities. Flames filled his vision. The already stifling heat became unbearable. Has the leader not replied yet? Abdu turned and looked at Alpha with difficulty. Alpha shook his head. Not yet, but I believe the leader won't abandon us. The words had barely left his mouth. Boom! In the distant sky, several figures sliced through the heavens, producing a thunderous roar like a violent storm. The sound was overwhelmingly oppressive. The pilots manning the F-15s and Tornado fighters stared outside, their expressions frozen in horror. They looked down at their radars. The enemy was this close, yet the radar showed no reaction whatsoever? Was it malfunctioning? No. They quickly realized the enemy aircraft possessed advanced stealth capabilities, rendering their radar completely ineffective. Who is it? An F-15 pilot asked over the intercom. No one answered him, as everyone was completely dumbfounded. At that moment, several electromagnetic bombs slammed toward them. A fraction of a second later, a deafening explosion echoed through the sky. 3 F-15 fighters were blown to smithereens at high altitude. It all happened in the blink of an eye. Chapter 8, The Fighter's Might. What the hell? Game materialization? Watching the dazzling performance of the Caliban fighter, Jiang Yi smiled. Just as expected. Concept fighters aren't some old junk you can bump into. Their capabilities are on an entirely different level. If this keeps up, those 30-odd enemy fighters won't even be enough to fill a tooth gap. Still, Jiang Yi was satisfied. At least he tested the Caliban fighter's true combat capabilities. Jiang Yi gained a new understanding of his current combat capabilities. The battle raged on. 10 Caliban fighters soared in formation, executing several high-difficulty maneuvers that left the enemy pilots utterly dumbfounded. It felt like witnessing alien technology. But the real question was, where the hell did this mysterious force come from? The one that had suddenly appeared and instantly destroyed 3 of their fighters? Amidst their stunned gazes, 10 Caliban fighters closed in, encircling all enemy aircraft. Desperate, they launched missiles in a last stand. But the projectiles couldn't hit their targets. The moment they were launched, they were disrupted by some mysterious interference, veering off their intended trajectory. Boom! 10 Caliban fighters struck simultaneously. One after another, F-15s and tornadoes erupted in dazzling bursts of flame mid-air. Fragments of wreckage rained down across the sky. The entire engagement lasted only minutes before ending with the Caliban fighters' overwhelming dominance. That's a wrap. Jiang Yi clapped his hands and clicked. One click returned to base. 10 fighters turned in unison, withdrawing from the battlefield one after another. Alpha and Abujal watched the spectacle in disbelief, their pupils dilating in shock. It's over already? Alpha suddenly realized something. These must be the fighter jets the leader sent to support us. Yes, it must be. Abujal trembled with excitement. No one but the leader would come to rescue them. Who would have thought the leader had such formidable fighter jets at his disposal? Unbelievable. Just how advanced was the technology at the leader's disposal? At this moment, the urge to worship him surged within him with unprecedented intensity. News of the complete annihilation of over 30 enemy fighters quickly reached the government forces. The news sent shockwaves through the entire government military. What? An entire squadron wiped out? The dark-skinned hottie's facial muscles twitched uncontrollably. That was over 30 fighter jets. In most parts of the world, they would be unbeatable. Totally wiped out? How could that be possible? The report must be wrong. It has to be wrong. Yet just over an hour later, partial combat footage and battle data from the scene began streaming back. Faced with this undeniable proof, Hadi slumped into his chair, gasping for breath. What the hell? First off, how did those Houthi sandal-wearing rebels even get their hands on all that cash and weaponry? But how did they even get fighter jets? And they're so advanced? They're beating Saudi Arabia's F-15s and tornadoes into submission? Hadi fell into brief contemplation. Half an hour later, he left the lounge and headed to the Saudi presidential palace, requesting an audience with President Salman. Saudi Arabia received the news immediately. After all, the aircraft deployed this time were all Saudi Arabia's own. Over 30 aircraft. The entire Saudi Air Force, combined, only had a little over 100 aircraft. To lose nearly a third of them in one strike. The hearts of the entire Shat leadership led. Useless. All of them useless. Upon seeing Hadi, Solomon pointed at him and unleashed a torrent of anger. How could he have failed so miserably, not even managing to ascertain the Houthis' equipment status? I didn't know. Hadi felt wronged. In his mind, the Houthi fighters were just a bunch of sandal-wearing soldiers, dirt poor and destitute. According to his original plan, it would take them a few more years to slowly wear down the enemy. Who could have imagined that such a destitute group would possess such advanced fighter jets? This doesn't make sense. Where did they even get this equipment? They certainly couldn't have bought it. He knew such advanced technology simply didn't exist. After cursing Hadi, Solomon still felt unsatisfied, but he knew it was too late to do anything about what had happened. His next pressing question was, where did this group of sandal-wearing rebels even get these high-tech fighter jets, tech so advanced that even his own father couldn't procure it? Both sides held a meeting that lasted several hours. Ultimately, the Yemen government and the Sand State decided to hold their positions for now and observe the situation. After all, the situation had exceeded their expectations. Pushing forward now would likely lead to even greater losses. You have successfully intimidated the Yamen government forces. Prestige plus 1000. You have successfully intimidated the Sart government forces. Prestige plus 1000. Just as the Caliban fighter had returned to the hangar and Jiang Yi was about to review the specific data, a notification page appeared on the screen. 2000 prestige points just appeared. Jiang Yi had only gained about 300 prestige points from constructing the main city earlier. Come to think of it, this move had effectively intimidated two nations simultaneously. With his reputation spreading, the prestige points awarded were naturally higher. For Jiang Yi, this was welcome news. Prestige points had many uses. They could be spent in the prestige shop to further upgrade other technologies. This would further expand Jiang Yi's comprehensive industrial chain. Time to move on to the next step. Jiang Yi opened the map and directed Alpha and the others to repair the extraction equipment. Once repairs were complete, they began collecting oil. The financial gains displayed in the upper right corner showed a significant increase. Alright, 2000 prestige points should be enough to claim a full equipment model set, right? Jiang Yi recalled that this game offered rewards. He browsed the mission page and indeed found the manifestation option. He selected the current equipment and clicked the materialize button. Materialize. Materialization successful. Countdown 120 hours. 120 hours, that's 5 days. Probably the shipping time or the time it takes for the package to arrive. Jiang Yi didn't pay it much mind. It would make a nice collectible to display at home. After completing these steps, Jiang Yi noticed that the funds in the economy section had risen from 21 billion to 25 billion. This growth rate was downright terrifying. With this much money, there was no need to be stingy anymore. After a moment's thought, Jiang Yi opened the map and found the road construction option. As the saying goes, to get rich, build roads first. A well-connected road network would greatly facilitate transportation and hold significant strategic value. It took him half an hour. Jiang Yi mapped out road plans for the territories under his control. He immediately dispatched workers to begin construction. After a moment's thought, Jiang Yi opened the fame shop and selected the technology tree. With over 2,000 renown points, he couldn't let them go to waste. They had to be put to use. After materializing mining equipment, only 1,300 fame points remained still sufficient. Jiang Yi continued to make his mark. Chapter 9, World Change. Does this have anything to do with me? Jiang Yi knew that one couldn't become fat in one bite. The same applied to development. You couldn't start off by overreaching. Start with the basics first. Only by laying a solid foundation can you build taller skyscrapers. Light industry a little, civilian tech a little, agriculture a little. After a series of upgrades, Jiang Yi upgraded all these to advanced levels. This would prepare for future factory construction, military recruitment, and further development. Glancing at the time, he realized he'd been playing almost until midnight. Jiang Yi set down his phone and stretched lazily. Time to sleep. Suddenly, Wang Hai from the lower bunk let out a startled exclamation. Holy crap! The Hush Armed Forces actually took down the Sand Special Forces? The outburst woke everyone else. Damn it, keep it down. We've got an 8 a.m. call tomorrow. Cut it out. Do you really need to get so worked up? The rest of the dorm stared at Wang Hai in disbelief. Sorry. I got too excited. Go back to sleep, haha. Wang Hai chuckled thick-skinnedly. The others drifted back to sleep, but Jiang Yi, who had just been about to doze off, found himself wide awake after Wang Hai's outburst. Ha! Armed. Did you take out the Sand Special? Jiang Yi rolled out of bed with a swift motion and lay down beside Wang Hai. The guy was watching the news channel. The latest update just released. Let me see. Jiang Yi snatched the phone from Wang Hai's hand. News report. Just over an hour ago, Hutu armed forces and the Sandan tribe engaged in a large-scale conflict. Shatar suffered heavy losses. Below is an accompanying interview video. Clicking through revealed a complex large-scale mechanical structure in the background, while the interviewee was a dark-skinned man wearing a cap. We solemnly warn the Sandites and the Hadi, you are no match for us. Under the leadership of our great leader, we shall ultimately achieve prosperity and greatness. If you know what's good for you, cease your resistance. Additionally, I have words for all our Yamen compatriots. We now possess the most advanced and powerful weapons, as the recent battle clearly demonstrates. Therefore, trust us, our armed forces will lead you all toward prosperity and strength. We welcome all to join us. Take up your weapons and join us in resisting the violent regime that has oppressed us for so long. Long live the leader. The speech was impassioned and stirring. Even through the screen, one could feel the speaker's fervor. This man is the current leader of the Hushan armed group, something like Abu Abujal or whatever. Seeing Jiang Yi's keen interest, a rare fellow enthusiast Wang Hai eagerly began explaining. Oh, and there's an interview video below. Wang Hai scrolled down, and the video switched to an interview with Abujal. Reporter, could you share some specifics? For instance, how did you resist this joint operation by the Saudi Omani forces and the Yemeni government army, stop the bombing, and defeat their aircraft in combat? Abdul, I'm sorry, I can't comment on that. The reporter wasn't satisfied. This was breaking news. I have to get something out of him. He pressed on. But Abdullah merely waved him off, saying impatiently, I told you, this concerns our internal confidential matters. The reporter wasn't giving up, trying to get around the issue. But Abdul brushed them all off. By the end of the interview, the reporter still hadn't gotten what he wanted. Video ends. Wang Hai took the phone back from Jiang Yi. Though curious why Jiang Yi had suddenly developed an interest in military affairs, he didn't press the matter. Instead, he mused to himself. Honestly, the performance of the Hush Armed Forces these past 2 days has been absolutely mind-blowing. They stormed all the way to the presidential palace, crushed the government forces, and then even went head-to-head with the SATA forces. That's just insane. You have no idea how impoverished that flip-flop army used to be. Oh, and while the news didn't go into detail, I'm pretty sure the SATA lost a bunch of fighter jets this time, massive losses. Wonder if the higher-ups are spitting blood over it, huh? Zhang Yi was deep in thought when he noticed the kid's excitement and couldn't help but ask, "You're really happy about this, huh?" "You bet." Hearing the discussion, the other roommates couldn't sleep either. They all turned to join in. Wang Hai saw his chance. This was right up his alley. He continued to expound to the group. "In my opinion, the Hushui militia are real men. They've been suppressed by the government forces for so many years. I don't know how they've managed to survive. All I can say is they fought this battle brilliantly. You guys don't know, but the government forces in Yemen have always been lackeys of the US traitors who bow to the enemy. Saudi Arabia is the same. Though things have improved in recent years, their track record is too tarnished. Across the entire East Coast region, the Hush Armed Forces stand the tallest and hardest to break. As they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Their growth benefits us too, ha. This guy tells stories like a professional storyteller. And you know what? The other roommates were actually listening with rapt attention. The Hush Armed Forces must have stumbled upon alien tech. One roommate quipped half-jokingly. Suddenly this powerful? Doesn't add up. Wang Hai shook his head solemnly. Based on my analysis, there must be a mastermind behind this, quietly orchestrating everything. Holy crap, that's insane. I'm genuinely curious who this person is. A mastermind? Some big shot from a certain country? Exactly. Wang Hai couldn't suppress the grin on his face. He was genuinely curious about this big shot, this mysterious figure. To turn a ragtag army into this? Absolutely insane. They've taken absurdity to a whole new level. What immense power and influence must this person wield? What kind of capabilities would it take to pull something like this off? Zhang Yi had been intrigued at first, but now he felt the kid was getting more and more out of hand. Cut back on the novels, will you? Zhang Yi placed one hand on Wang Hai's shoulder, using the leverage to pull himself up from the bed and crawl back to his own. Who reads novels? You guys just don't get it. Wang Hai retorted, I dare say such a figure absolutely exists. He must be the kind of big shot who can make a whole world tremble with just a flick of his finger. You believe it or not? Zhang Yi scoffed, choosing not to engage with the kid's nonsense. But? Zhang Yi leaned over the edge of his bed. Right, what time did the fight happen again? 12:25. Why? Wang Hai glanced at the time in the report and replied. Zhang Yi didn't respond. 12:25. That was around the time he was playing the game, commanding fighter jets in an aerial battle against the Sand Tigers. What a coincidence. Does the game content update in real time? Is the development team on Weibo? Zhang Yi fell into a moment of deep thought. Mysterious person. The videos and dialogues within the game. Zhang Yi suddenly felt a jolt of alarm. Could these possibly be related to me? Chapter 10, Verification. Could my game actually manipulate reality? Gulp. Zhang Yi swallowed hard. This was all too strange, spiraling into the bizarre. He had to do something to prove it. Zhang Yi sat up, grabbed the charger, plugged in his phone, and reopened the game. Scrolling through the previous email video, it remained just as vivid. The details of the aerial combat were equally authentic. Zhang Yi opened the map and located the oil extraction base where Abujal and the others were stationed. He tapped the character icon and locked onto Abujal. Abujal, leader, what are your orders? A text box appeared, allowing Zhang Yi to freely input commands and instruct Abujal to perform any task. The freedom was unparalleled. Perfect. Zhang Yi had something to prove. Zhang Yi, I have a task to assign. Follow my instructions precisely. Abujal, no problem, leader. At 2 p.m. today, I need you to arrange a press conference. Announce that we've successfully thwarted Shenzhen's plans, oil extraction is proceeding smoothly, and full-scale global exports will commence shortly. Oil is liquid gold. Every nation is in desperate need of it, no worries about finding buyers. But with so many oil exporting nations, gaining an edge and breaking through the competition won't be easy. The best approach is to slightly undercut prices. By selling at a lower price, others will naturally choose to partner with us and purchase our oil. As for whether this might disrupt the market, Zhang Yi couldn't care less. Making money is the ultimate goal. Moreover, his extraction costs were extremely low, thanks to a complete set of drilling equipment. Other countries simply couldn't compete. Moments later, Zhang Yi revealed the true purpose behind his plan. Additionally, if the Dragon Nation needs to import our oil, I'm willing to offer a 288% discount. After all, Zhang Yi was a Dragon Nation citizen born under its flag, possessing a red heart. If this game truly connects to reality, then Zhang Yi would definitely implement generous welfare policies for his own country. It would be his way of contributing to the motherland. Spreading this news would also further enhance Huxiao Arm's international reputation and influence. After all, today's Dragon Nation is no longer what it once was. It now holds significant sway across the globe. Indirectly, this lays the groundwork for Zhang Yi's future development. Oh, and for the headline, let's go with we're going to bring down oil prices. Zhang Yi pondered for a moment before emphasizing the crucial point. Oil prices are a matter of global concern, ensuring maximum visibility. Abujal, understood, leader. Any further instructions? None for now. I'll notify you if anything else arises. Abujul, understood, leader. I offer you my highest respect. Under your guidance, I believe we will soon achieve prosperity and strength. MHM. Go about your duties now. The order was issued. Jiang Yi took a deep breath and wiped the sweat from his forehead. He was starting to feel a bit nervous. He wondered if this order would make the news this afternoon. If it didn't, then it would just mean everything that happened before was a coincidence, no big deal. He could just chalk it up to his own wild imagination. But if it actually came true, then that would be interesting. It would mean Jiang Yi could remotely manipulate the entire situation in East Continent. By exploiting the game's login system, he could claim those game-changing rewards and effortlessly sway the world's course. In the future, he could dominate East Continent and end its chaotic state. Jiang Yi could even grasp the entire world's fate firmly in his hands. South Korea? As a nation born with inherent animosity toward the Dragon Kingdom, Jiang Yi will make them repay the debts they owe from years past. World Police Eagle? Sorry, but it's time for a change. East Continent Oil Extraction Base. Abujul, what's the matter? Alpha saw Abdullah suddenly rise with a grave expression. The leader has entrusted me with an important task. I must return to the main city first to prepare for the press conference. Abujul said. With that, he rose and left the lounge, boarding the vehicle bound for the main city. Though he didn't understand why the leader had given this order, he knew one thing for certain: fulfilling the leader's task was never a mistake. The leader is a divine being sent by heaven to save us. I must not disappoint him. Abujul gazed at the night scenery outside the window, silently resolving himself. Hours later, Abujul returned to the main city. His first action was to relay the details of the press conference. Make all preparations for the interview in advance, ensuring nothing could go wrong. Within half an hour, Jiang Yi had further refined the plans for the roads and the main city construction zone. Now it looked much more comfortable. Industrial zones, recreational areas, residential districts. Especially the capital district under his command after the redesign and reconstruction, they all looked significantly more sophisticated than before. He then established several specialized patrol units to address security concerns within the main city. Jiang Yi planned to allocate part of the military tonight for dedicated industrial transport. But for some reason, he felt strangely unmotivated that night. He sighed absent-mindedly. Never mind. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Jiang Yi decided to sleep first. His main concern was whether tomorrow's real-world news would carry any reports on the matter. Jiang Yi was fretting over this. The next day, Jiang Yi was woken up by his roommate. In the morning, he joined them for a campus event, then attended a discussion session for the innovation and technology competition at noon. The entire morning slipped away like that. Exhausted after all that, he returned to the dorm after lunch intending to nap. Before dozing off, Jiang Yi made sure to set his alarm for 2 p.m. This was the time he had instructed Abujul last night to hold the press conference. 2:30 p.m. The alarm rang punctually. Jiang Yi woke up, rubbed his sleepy eyes, and hurriedly grabbed his phone to open the news app and refresh the homepage. The sudden announcement of oil price cuts was major news. If the game truly connected to reality, it should be visible in domestic media. Unfortunately, after refreshing the homepage several times, Jiang Yi still couldn't find it. Then it occurred to him, the press conference would take time. He decided to check back later. In the meantime, Wang Hai and the others called Jiang Yi to join them for a class. By the time class ended, it was already 3 o'clock. Jiang Yi opened the news feed again. Jiang Yi, why are you suddenly so interested in the news? Wang Hai sensed something off about Jiang Yi. He seemed strange today, constantly checking the news for no reason. Jiang Yi ignored him, refreshing his phone several times in a row without seeing any related content released by the media. Just as Jiang Yi was beginning to feel disappointed, suddenly, a banner notification appeared on his phone screen. Phoenix News Agency, breaking news. At exactly 2 p.m. today, Hushi Armed Forces made a high-profile announcement of oil price reductions. Chapter 11, Can Games Manipulate Reality? Check in for a nuclear warhead? Jiang Yi froze for a second. After swiping endlessly without finding it, was it actually waiting to push itself to him? Are you kidding me? He hurriedly tapped the news article. Good afternoon, viewers. Tune in to our channel at 3:11 p.m. today. According to the latest reports, the Hush Armed Forces, who unexpectedly discovered a massive oil field days ago, suddenly held a press conference and dramatically announced a reduction in oil prices. Industry insiders reveal this could significantly impact the oil industry, particularly other exporting nations in the East Continent region. Another surprising announcement: the Hushai faction stated that any Dragon nation importing their oil would receive a 288% discount. This report is quite comprehensive. Jiang Yi patiently read through it, his expression shifting from calm to astonishment. Holy crap! This game is actually linked to reality? Jiang Yi could now confirm beyond doubt that he could genuinely use the game to remotely control reality in East Continent. Why 288? It was the number Jiang Yi specifically emphasized to avoid misunderstandings. And wouldn't you know it matched perfectly. Everything before could be called coincidence, but this time it couldn't possibly be a coincidence, could it? Shot. A bold thought emerged in Jiang Yi's mind. If this were true, then could this valuable materialization ability be more than just sending a model as he imagined? Could it be real? Could he truly materialize a complete oil extraction rig into reality? Gulp. Jiang Yi swallowed hard. An expression of wild excitement immediately spread across his face. Interesting. So very interesting. For Jiang Yi, manipulating reality through the game carried no personal risk, because exposure was impossible. Nor did he need to worry about being targeted by a coalition of Eastern continent nations or facing decapitation. Take that missile strike earlier, he lost an entire arm, yet his in-game character instantly regenerated health. That alone proves he's invincible in certain aspects within the game. Therefore, Jiang Yi could gradually seize control of real-world Dongzhou through the game. The game's various rewards. These rewards signaled that Jiang Yi could effortlessly develop his influence in a short time, becoming a pivotal figure influencing the entire world. He could quietly build his influence, becoming a hidden boss who steers global affairs from the shadows. Not just one region, not just one country, but the entire world. The very thought sent shivers down his spine. Jiang Yi felt his adrenaline surging. It was utterly mind-blowing. Still, the same thought lingered. Interesting. So very interesting. Oh right. Jiang Yi hurriedly opened the prestige shop and saw that the item he'd previously chosen to materialize was still counting down. Prestige points. This is a good thing. You can unlock tech trees, exchange items at the prestige store, and later materialize game items, all requiring prestige points. Jiang Yi began to carefully study the game's mechanics. Since it could influence reality, Jiang Yi could no longer treat this game as mere entertainment. He needed to take it seriously and thoroughly understand every single mechanic. Jiang Yi recalled that his previous instances of gaining prestige points were all tied to specific actions he had taken within the game. The first time was when he captured the presidential palace. The second time was when he built the main city. Then, in the aerial battle against Sunda, he had utterly routed the enemy. Got it. Jiang Yi's eyes lit up. He realized he needed to perform actions that would intimidate rival factions or accomplish feats with massive global impact events that would shock the world. Prestige, prestige. Only by achieving widespread fame could one truly gain prestige, that much was clear. With that realization, Jiang Yi understood that to grow, he'd have to keep stirring things up. Jiang Yi opened the taskbar. He intended to start with the taskbar. End the chaos in East Continent and unify it. Seize the southern territories and destroy the Yamen government army's concentration camp. Raise your reputation to 10,000. Complete 3 globally shocking campaigns. Earn $10 billion US. The array of missions is dizzying, with numerous entry points available. However, many of them present challenges for Jiang Yi at this stage, and the specifics of execution require careful consideration. After a moment's thought, Jiang Yi temporarily exited the mission interface. Today's daily check-in task remained unfinished. The daily login rewards were always generous. He wondered what this time would bring. Check-in complete. After successfully completing the check-in, the rewards were dispersed. Jiang Yi stared at the screen and froze in shock. Congratulations! You have obtained 3 nuclear warheads. Nuclear warheads? Did I see that right? Jiang Yi scrutinized the message, rubbing his eyes to confirm he hadn't misread it. Indeed, they were nuclear warheads. Jiang Yi was certainly no stranger to nuclear weapons. One of the most devastating weapons of our time, popularly dubbed the equalizer of all life. A single nuclear blast could not only cause direct destruction through its explosion but also unleash radiation powerful enough to turn a metropolis of tens of millions into a barren wasteland. Amidst today's chaotic international landscape, nuclear weapons remained a crucial instrument of mutual deterrence among nations. Put it this way, the lighthouse nation acts as the world's policeman, running rampant and plundering resources. Even those puppet states that rely on the lighthouse nation are able to run amok under the protection of their lighthouse father's power. But if any of these oppressed nations possessed even a few nuclear bombs, the lighthouse father wouldn't dare act so recklessly. Excellent. This thing could totally serve as a stabilizing force, haha. Jiang Yi smiled. He satisfiedly claimed the reward and stored it in the warehouse. Of course. Just having the nuclear warhead isn't enough, you also need all the supporting launch systems. Jiang Yi didn't have those yet. But with the warheads already in hand, acquiring the rest was merely a matter of time. In short, possessing this thing is like having a trump card up one's sleeve. It could prove remarkably effective when the moment arises. It's no exaggeration to call it a game-changing weapon. Main City District. Several heavy trucks slowly entered under cover of night, then maneuvered into the warehouse under Abujul's command. What big move is the leader pulling now? Maxon asked Abduli curiously. I don't know. The leader just told me to transport the goods back and keep them safe. Abujul shook his head. 3 heavy trucks were needed for the transport, and it was also mysterious. He knew the cargo was unusual, but exactly what it was, he had no idea. Squeak! As the heavy metal door slammed shut with a thud, Abdu and Max left the warehouse. After retrieving the nuclear warhead, Jiang Yi suddenly felt emboldened. After repeatedly studying maps of various regions in Dongzhou, a plan formed in his mind. With the nuclear warhead as a safety net, the cost of trial and error was significantly reduced. If the plan succeeded, the benefits for Jiang Yi would be immense. Chapter 12, Surprise Attack. Seize the port, begin the war. Jiang Yi's plan was actually quite simple. Just moments ago, Jiang Yi had spotted a crucial location on the map. That was the port of Aden, situated west of Yamen. Geographically, this location held immense strategic value. First, located on the northwest shore of the Gulf of Aden along Yemen's southwestern coast, Aden Port controls the entrance to the Red Sea and the Arabian Sea. It serves as a vital transit point between Europe, the Red Sea, and the Arabian Peninsula, as well as the Pacific Ocean. It is also Yemen's largest seaport and ranks as the world's second largest oil refining hub. It handles transshipment trade and has regular flights to destinations worldwide. Therefore, it can be said that the port of Aden controls Yemen's vital economic lifeline. Control Aden port and you gain command over most of Yemen's economic lifeline. Yes. Zhang Ye's plan was to find a way to seize control of Aden port. Once the port is secured, subsequent operations like oil exports and weapons imports will become significantly easier. The only thing to be mindful of is that risk and reward go hand in hand. Aden port is heavily guarded by a large garrison of soldiers. Capturing it will require considerable effort. Zhang Ye was known for his decisive and swift approach to action. He promptly summoned Abdullah and Maxon. As for Alpha, his temporary assignment was to command the oil extraction base. Watching the two character models from the game approach him, Zhang Ye couldn't help but fantasize. At the same time, over at the Yamen, Abdullah and Maxon also appeared before him, just like in the game, right? A dialogue box appeared on the screen. Abdul, leader, what are your orders? Zhang Ye clicked the input box and began typing. I have a mission for you. Tonight, find a way to take Aden port. Any questions? Abdul, leader, this might be a bit difficult. That place has a large garrison, heavily fortified with layers of defenses. As a key military point, the soldiers stationed there are equipped with advanced weaponry. It won't be easy. Maxon, yes, Commander. We're still in our developmental phase. Perhaps we should wait until we've raised sufficient funds and expanded our capabilities before making a decision? Zhang Ye now knows. Abdul and Maxon weren't mere game characters, they were flesh and blood humans. Upon reflection, their concerns actually made sense. Aden port holds such critical strategic importance. It's the lifeline of the Yamen government forces. How could it be easily captured? However, Zhang Ye never regretted a decision he made, nor did he ever back out midway. If the enemy's weapons are more advanced, then we'll outdo them with even more advanced technology. Zhang Ye asked Abdul and Maxon to wait briefly while he opened the fame shop. It was worth noting that, following several recent press conferences, particularly the announcements of oil price reductions and preferential export policies for Dragon Nation, had significantly boosted his reputation points. These events had caused quite a stir, making headlines across major domestic news channels, especially military outlets. Prestige points, 1399. Combined with the remaining points from earlier, the total now stands at approximately 1,400 prestige points. That's more than enough. A dazzling array of modern advanced firearms and weaponry appeared before Zhang Ye's eyes. It was dazzling. There were even portable electromagnetic cannons, plasma lightsabers, and proton bombs, these monstrous products of the future. But the required reputation points. Zhang Ye glanced at the prices and decided against it. For him, those figures were astronomical. The only weapons he could afford were firearms slightly more advanced than those used on modern battlefields, but still within his capabilities. But compared to these, Zhang Ye immediately shifted his attention to the tank section on the next page. Because the most direct way to boost combat power he could think of was still tanks, those unruly little tyrants of the battlefield. Second was affordability. Affordability. Zhang Ye carefully selected several models with the best-looking specs and performance. Among them, certain models caught Zhang Ye's attention. VZ-58 Concept Armored Tank. Specifications. 4-member crew. Firepower, Tier 9 122mm gun, 440 damage per shot, per round magazine, 35-second reload time. 257 penetration AP rounds, 325 penetration APCR gold rounds. Excellent gun control data, 8-degree depression angle. Armor, K568 all-purpose alloy covering entire hull, providing exceptional defensive capabilities. Mobility, excellent power-to-weight ratio. Top speed, 94 km/h, agile and nimble turret traverse. PL-01 stealth concept tank. Specifications. Crew, 3, with a rear compartment accommodating 4 infantry. Armament, primary weapon is a 105mm or 120mm tank gun housed within a stealth-designed unmanned turret. Features an automatic loader with a maximum rate of fire of 6 rounds per minute. Secondary weapon is a 7.62mm machine gun with 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Armor, modular armor based on ceramic aramid composite, provides NATO STANAG 4569 level 5 protection. Additional armor can be installed. Mobility, powered by a 940 horsepower diesel engine, achieving a maximum road speed of 109 km/h. Fire control system, advanced, featuring an observation and aiming system with an electronically stabilized laser rangefinder, day-night low-light camera, and third-generation thermal imaging. Type Y-58 main battle tank. Performance specifications. Crew, 4. Firepower, equipped with an XM360 120mm lightweight low-recoil smoothbore gun. Auxiliary armament consists of one XM9 1430mm chain-fed automatic cannon capable of firing standard 30mm 113mm series ammunition. Mobility, features a lightweight main gun and a tail-mounted autoloader, reducing overall height and frontal profile. Utilizes a hybrid power system. Armor, full body coverage with modular carbon-reinforced aramid armor. These 3 variants boast impressive specifications, outperforming any currently deployed main battle tank worldwide. Moreover, they are reasonably priced, offering excellent value for money. Zhang Ye opted to purchase them. Purchase. Let's start with 5 units of each. No need for more, especially since he already had drones to support the operation. 15 tanks employing infantry tank coordination tactics